Hello everybody. I used to believe that a good education, high social status, or wealth are what make people great. Coming from a poor background and not having the opportunity to develop many social skills until I was adult, I once craved that life. It stems from a belief that, in God's eyes, we are all created equal. I kept reading in the Declaration of Independence about how all men are imbued by their Creator with certain inalienable rights and that all men are created equal. I read that people secure these rights through the institution of government, but that when government becomes destructive to these rights, then it is the right and responsibility of the people to institute a new form of government. I ask you, has the current government protected your rights? The Declaration of Independence lists several grievances that the American colonies had with the British Empire. Many of those same grievances that the American Empire currently practices. Some may take issue with me calling America an empire, but I say when it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Empires are in the business of lording over other people and nations. They maintain control through false superiority by siphoning resources from other nations. Simply put, the more that America can extract from another nation, the more power they can exert over that nation. The biggest obstacle to improving human standard of living is the American Empire, just as the American Republic was the best gateway for improving human standard of living. I know that it's dangerous to say such things. People like me might be labeled a terrorist. I used to fear being labeled such, but I just don't care anymore. I'm sick of living in a dystopic society. I'm sick of a government that lies to its citizens, does not protect their rights, and only seeks to magnify itself. Call me a terrorist. Call me an America hater. But I know myself better than anyone, and I am an enemy of tyrants and a friend of those who hold dear the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The American government has departed far from those values, and unfortunately, it will likely lead to a violent and bloody revolution. I'm trying to prevent that by showing that there is a different path. Even though we supposedly have the right to free speech, the government has killed people for making YouTube videos. They've killed them when they got several followers and say things against the government. So yes, I'm fully aware of the evil that I face, yet I do not fear for my life. Hearing about the land of opportunity, but failing to experience much opportunity, has taken the fear out of me. I've learned that I would rather die for a purpose than to live in fear of my government. Some might call me unchristian to rail against my government, suggesting that Christians should have unquestioned obedience to their leaders. To the Christians in the audience, I would remind them that, according to Ephesians, a Christian's fight is with the government. It states in verse 12, chapter 6, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." This passage goes on to teach why and how to wear the armor of God. I was once scared to wear such armor, not considering myself worthy. It follows by saying, "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And having done all, to stand. Stand, therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly, as I ought to speak. So, like Paul, I agree. I would say it's because I became a Christian that I'm no longer afraid to speak the truth about our government. I will boldly proclaim the gospel of peace. I will spread the good news that we don't have to live under tyranny, and that one day the meek will inherit the earth. I will speak in faith of a God who delivers his people from their suffering. I will speak in faith of a God that will put an end to greed and hatred. I will speak boldly because I fear what God will do to me if I don't speak the truth. I will put on the armor of God, which is precisely why I'm building this channel. Don't allow me to act self-righteous. I'm far from perfect and used to be very upset with my life. I used to be upset that I was single, without kids, and had trouble talking to women. I wanted to find a good job so that I could find a wife and become a good husband and father. In fact, that's the reason I went from no high school education to earning a master's degree. While I haven't found a decent job or a nice girl, I've come to realize that I'm lucky because I don't have much to live for. Had I not been a Christian, I'd probably have been suicidal by now. Had I been a parent earlier, had I met a nice woman, my focus would have been on being a good father and husband. It's only because I've been a single, lonely, impoverished Christian that I've turned into the man I am today. I don't claim to be either a prophet or an apostle, but we have become the Second Roman Empire. Just as Peter, Paul, John, and the other apostles spoke against the evils of the Roman Empire, I will speak against the evil of the Second Roman Empire. I'm just the voice of a man crying in the wilderness. So help me God, I will become the best public speaker I can be. In so doing, I will die at the hands of my government, or I will help to create a society where everyone can thrive. Either way, my life will have had purpose. Thank you for your time, everyone. And don't forget to subscribe.